A magnitude 7 usually has aftershocks that last for years.
Everything was real shaky, and then it was like, once it actually hit, like everything was falling over, everything was shaking. It felt like, I don't know, it was like something right off of it moving.
And we were hoping that the 6.4 was the big one.
Good evening, I'm Alex Fisher.
And I'm Maddie Jansen. It's been a week of shaking and fear. 2 major earthquakes in our area rocked Southern California and beyond last week, and thousands of aftershocks followed. The first happened 1 week ago today, on Independence Day. Just after 10:30 a.m., a magnitude 6.4 earthquake rattled eastern Kern County. The USGS says 20 million people up and down the West Coast and as far east as Phoenix felt that quake. The epicenter just outside of Ridgecrest, about 110 miles east of Bakersfield.
But that was not the big one. 34 hours later, a much stronger earthquake hit, this time at magnitude 7.1, 11 times stronger than the first earthquake.
Our team fanned out across the Ridgecrest area during the earthquakes, and tonight we have team coverage for you. 17's Karen Waugh has a look at the emotional toll these quakes continue to take on people of Ridgecrest. Vanessa Dillon has the story of how people are moving forward despite the fear of not knowing what comes next.
We'll also hear from Tabitha Mills about how first responders sprung into action to help others, all while dealing with their own fears of not knowing what could come next. And tonight, new audio of the 911 calls that flooded dispatched after the earthquake. Our Amber Frias has the terrifying moments, but we began with 17's Aton Wallace, who was the first reporter on scene after the first quake hit on the holiday. He has a look back at what happened 1 week ago today on the 4th of July.
This is Ridgecrest. Population 28,880. Police force 30 officers. Tucked away in the Mojave Desert, the tight-knit, somewhat isolated Kern County community has long been known for the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, a military base that oversees research and testing for the U.S. Navy. But during the morning of July 4th, the town became known for another reason. A magnitude 6.4 earthquake rocked the ground 11 miles northeast of the city. The shaking felt as far away as Las Vegas and Tijuana.
Oh my God!
But the quake was especially strong in Ridgecrest and the surrounding communities.
Everything started rocking and rolling.
Shaking was so bad, and it followed for 2-3 minutes.
This is one of the largest earthquakes to strike Southern California in years.
Remarkably, no one died and there were no serious injuries, but the damage was evident. From mobile homes lifted completely off of their foundations to house fires to impacted convenience stores. And look at all these bottles on the ground. An earthquake so strong it led to the evacuation of the city's hospital.
We made the decision based out of an abundance of caution.
And it was a similar abundance of caution that led homeowner Dakota Saunders to take his TV and other items off the wall in preparation for aftershocks.
Put it on the floor just in case when the next one hits.
Sure enough, just a day later, as the city was responding to the 6.4 quake, another larger earthquake struck the region. This time, a Friday night shaker that measured as a 7.1 on the Richter scale.
Oh my God. It just felt like hell, honestly.
Once again, the city was in emergency mode. House fires, ceiling damage, and no power for more than 1,000 homes and businesses. But even so, no deaths or major injuries to report. The governor surveyed the damage the next day.
California is committed to rebuilding.
Here in the city of Ridgecrest, the damage is visible. These cinder blocks used to be on this wall, but during the earthquake, they completely toppled over onto the ground. And if you think the damage here is bad, just imagine how bad it is in the community of Trona, just 10 miles from the epicenter. There, the earthquake cracked homes, damaged roads, and destroyed walls. Homeowner Chris Gorlitz showed us the damage.
This house is made out of solid concrete. Right here, it broke all the way through up and came all the way over right there, and you can see it went off that direction as well. We were very lucky to have as minimal damage as we had.
To make matters worse, the people of Trona had no access to clean drinking water for 6 days. Bottled water, the only option. And more difficulties for those in this area. The Searles Valley Minerals Plant, which employs a significant amount of those who call Trona home, closed for at least 2 weeks. But even with the challenges, this community is keeping strong.
If any community can get through something like this, it's Trona and the surrounding area. We are so proud of you folks working together.
We made it by the grace of God, and a lot of houses that I thought would collapse have stayed upright, but we don't need anything else bigger, I'll tell you that. We're Trona strong and Trona awesome.
And a similar sentiment from the people and leaders of Ridgecrest.
We are a great community, and you know what? Ridgecrest rocks! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are amazing. Thank you. Ridgecrest rocks.
Since July 4th, there have been more than 70 magnitude 4.0 aftershocks to strike the region. Meantime, we do not know the full extent of the damage at the Navy base. And as for Trona, water there has been fully restored. It is now safe to drink. Reporting for 17 News, I'm Eitan Wallace.
The shaking could be felt far beyond the desert. Although 46,000 people felt the devastating impacts of these quakes, the USGS says around 25 million people felt the earth move.
Take a look at some video of the shaking when the 7.1 earthquake hit. Tens of thousands felt Dodger Stadium move during the game. And the NBA Summer League game came to a stop during the quake, and people evacuated the Thomas and Mack Arena in Las Vegas. And rides at Disneyland temporarily closed after the swaying stopped.
As we waited for word of injuries or damage following the 6.4 foreshock on the 4th of July, initial reports came in of at least 24 medical and fire calls.
As 17th Amber Frias shows us, that's when we first realized that first quake caused some serious problems.
Fortunately, there were no deaths or major injuries from either quake. But the emotional trauma continues to cut deep through the tight-knit community.
A magnitude 6.4 earthquake rocks Ridgecrest, rattling residents and causing considerable damage across the city.
We have significant reports of fires, structure fires, mostly as a result of gas leaks or gas line breaks. There are gas line breaks throughout the city. There are also reports of water main breaks. Power is out and communications is out to parts of the community.
Many homes were damaged, including a house on South Sunland Street that caught fire.
Engine 77, Engine 73, Engine 72, Engine 14, Medic Engine 19, Battalion 1. Key 71, Section 38, Adams, south of Sunland Street at East California Avenue. Part of a house fire. Started in a garage. Consignment's going to be on for 3.
ECCs and 77s on scene. We have a single-story, single-family dwelling, 1,000 square foot garage fully involved. Looks like it's already extended into the attic. This will be the Sunland incident. Engine 77 will be Sunland IC.
Fire officials were able to save 50% of the structure, a combined effort of multiple agencies.
We haven't knocked down the fire. Still checking for extension in the attic. We still have significant mop-ups.
Copy. Is there any resources available right now to send any other additional calls if needed?
Not yet, but we're going to work on that shortly.
Friday, July 5th, the primary earthquake of magnitude 7.1 strikes the Ridgecrest area. Sirens were heard throughout the city. More damage, including at least 4 more structure fires, are reported.
I came outside, walked around the corner, and that thing was 100 foot high. Flames. Just like that, bam. Ain't no mercy on that one.
The home burned down as family watched in horror.
It's just burning down to the ground and we can't even move the car.
No one was injured during the fire, and firefighters have yet to determine the cause of the fire. Amber Frias, 17 News.
The damage to homes and businesses was significant. The USGS estimates roughly $1 billion lost.
But people in Ridgecrest were dealing with something deeper, emotional trauma, including the mayor dealing with her own health problems before the quakes even hit. Our coverage continues next.
Tonight, Hollywood Game Night returns with a new season. With new games.
What is happening?
From Jane's swanky new house.
Justin Bieber finally moved out of my neighborhood. Thank God!
New Hollywood Game Night, tonight on NBC.
We're getting ready for a choir competition. We need your help.
I am retired.
Oh, yeah.
You're an alto.
I've never sung alto.
Things change as women get older.
You say?
Introducing my $4.99 Spicy Chicken Strips Combo. Bigger, tastier strips of juicy chicken with crunchy batter. Spice them up with hot sauce or cool them down with Buttermilk Ranch. Try my new 100% all-white meat Spicy Chicken Strips Combo today for just $4.99.
Thank you for allowing North Bakersfield Toyota to provide you with all your vehicle needs. Sales, service, we thank you for being a part of our Toyota family. Located in the heart of Northwest Bakersfield, serving all of Kern County, North Bakersfield Toyota.
Thanks for stopping by, man. I didn't know who else to call.
We can handle just about anything.
I hope so, because I've never seen anything like this before. But you guys are mindful of the environment, right?
100%.
Sweet.
Can we please watch something other than football?
That's Justine. She won't leave.
At Clark, we can handle just about anything.
Hi.
Including pests, termites, rodents, spiders, bedbugs, yard and garden, and much, much more. Just not ghosts.
At Burger King, snack on our mozzarella sticks for just $1. Cheesy on the inside and crispy on the outside. 4 mozzarella sticks are just $1. Still hungry for a deal? Get 10 crispy nuggets for $1.49. Only at Burger King.
Try my $4.99 barbecue bacon double cheeseburger combo.
Welcome back. We've seen numerous examples of people in Ridgecrest leaning on each other for support.
17's Karen Waugh has been embedded in the city for several days and joins us to shed some light on all the good that's come from this major event.
In Ridgecrest, their lives have been rocked, but their spirits haven't been shattered. As a city, they've emerged resilient.
PTSD is a real thing.
There's a new meaning to the word aftershock.
And we're all suffering from it right now.
While there were no deaths and no major damage to buildings in Ridgecrest,
every little rumble or shake, she runs straight to the door. We're barely getting any sleep. She's been sleeping with her sandals on. She doesn't want to go to the restroom alone. She doesn't want to leave my sight.
What do you do when the sleeping and an earthquake happens and your family's lying around you, and what are you supposed to do?
It's the damage that lies beneath the surface.
We're hearing things from other people that it's like, oh, well, it's not that bad. You guys don't have a lot of physical, but do you understand that the emotional, that it strains you?
People strained, but not shattered. In a strange way, this seismic situation has brought them closer as a community.
Ridgecrest rocks! Thank you.
At the epicenter of this community, Mayor Peggy Breeden.
You are amazing.
While she's been taking charge of her city.
Do you need me? I'll be there shortly. We know I got through chemotherapy not too long ago, and I'm doing immune chemotherapy right now. And everybody keeps saying, Peggy, go home, go home, go home.
She's unrattled.
This is my community. I came here to die, and you know what? I found a whole new life.
As a decades-long ovarian and breast cancer patient, she's leaned on her fellow survivors.
Talking to people who've gone through the same experience gives you an opportunity to say, maybe it isn't the end of my life. Maybe this is just the bend I'm going to turn to see where I'm going next. And it's just like these earthquakes. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Mayor Breeden embodies what it means to be Ridgecrest resilient.
I'm also asking all of you to go check on your neighbors.
Let's try to start recovering now.
Amid the stress, these leaders found a way to spark laughter.
Easy, ladies.
At the town hall meeting, they urged everyone to take advantage of the emotional support resources available.
If somebody is okay and not struggling, maybe they were out of town, they're going to show up to help the others that are.
Marley's Mutts brought in therapy dogs. Nonprofits offered free pet vaccinations.
We have volunteers here from Las Vegas and from down south by San Diego.
Little Caesars gave out free pizza.
Hey, you guys are awesome back there!
Other organizations donated bottled water.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
The Red Cross set up counseling and support groups, as well as an evacuation center that served more as a place to bond than take refuge. Next door, At a park called Friendship Plaza, the community gathered for a picnic and movie night.
It's going to take a while to heal, and what you're seeing going on behind me are people telling their stories to their neighbors and sharing it and getting it out.
Thank you so much.
An attempt to restore some semblance of normalcy. Strangers supporting each other in this shaky situation.
We are a community that takes care of each other.
Now it's time to rebuild, repair, recover, and together stand Ridgecrest strong. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
Important conversation, open discussion about difficult topics. Kern County in Depth with Jim Scott, Saturdays at 6. 17 News.
Hi everybody, St. Dominguez here from Oasis Air and Solar. We're your home performance specialists. That includes air conditioning, insulation, hot water heaters, and even solar.
The system that Oasis put together for us included allergy filtration. It has been life-changing for us. We cannot see any of the exterior conduit. It's just a very clean, nice job. They took care of my home like it was their own.
Let Oasis make your home an oasis. Give us a call at 322-COOL!
When it comes to your family, you want the best. At Wooddale Market, we've provided your family with the finest quality meat since 1955. Wooddale is committed to customer service and family values. We understand that when you're together, it's special. You can be assured that you're giving them the best when you shop at Wooddale. We welcome you to either of our locations to see our beautiful selections of beef, chicken, pork, and our house-made sausages. A legacy founded from service. Wooddale, because you deserve the best.
Decades of respecting your trust.
Taking the lead on the sports scene.
Following the money trail.
More investigations, getting answers.
Don't let weather spoil your travels.
In the spirit of the Golden Empire.
17 News.
Did a woman you know disappear in 1980? That's when two women were brutally murdered in Central California. They have never been identified. Take a look at their tattoos. Do you recognize them? For more information, go to murderedandforgotten.com.
The Sunrise 17 podcast delivers the day's local news and local weather in less than 17 minutes. Provided by your Kern County news leader, the Sunrise 17 podcast. Pop Kern with 17's Karen Hua. Pop online anytime, Fridays at noon on Facebook and Instagram. Pop Kern's exclusive sponsor is 1933 Speakeasy Bar and Grill. Keeping you on the pulse of what's happening. 17 News.
As cleaning up continues in Ridgecrest, a range of emotions linger for residents hit by two of the biggest quakes we've seen in decades.
17's Vanessa Dillon continues our profiles of people, some who describe the sense of persistent fear, while others cling to optimism, having faith they'll walk away from it stronger.
Well, the community once felt uneasy following last week's two earthquakes. Today, they find resolve in one another.
You just got to be kind of calm and just take one day at a time.
James Combs likes to describe himself as a glass half full kind of guy.
Face the camera, princess.
A scene of chaos for most was instead described as a minor scare by Combs.
Really, I was laying down. I was laying down when the first part of it happened, the 6 point. And it kind of shook a little bit. I said, oh, well, an earthquake. So I grabbed my little puppy and kind of calmed her down.
Many neighbors describe Combs as a distinctively positive person, and he didn't shy away from that standard, even 1 week after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake destroyed his home.
Yeah, you got to just keep a positive attitude, you know.
The 7.1 magnitude quake that came the following day knocked Combs' home out of its foundation, essentially making it unlivable.
We moved over approximately a foot.
So as he waits for a visit from inspectors, he and his dog Princess stay outside.
We've just been enjoying each other's company. And just making the best of a bad situation.
But while residents like Combs remain calm, others battle through a range of emotions.
Shock, terror, fear, not knowing if we were going to make it out, if it was going to stop, because it just kept getting stronger and stronger.
April Hamlin relocated her family to the Red Cross shelter in Ridgecrest after the first earthquake.
We'll figure it out. It's going to be okay. Sorry.
The single mother, just one example of how many might have responded to trembling grounds all week long.
I'm facing this on my own as a single parent, and knowing I can't bring my daughter into this. But I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
In the scene she described, a complete contrast to Combs' recollection of the event.
It was just very scary. We just huddled together and basically tried to stay in the center.
But although both reacted to the quakes differently, they share a mutual faith in a community they say will come out united and stronger than ever before.
We are a big family. We've gotten closer.
You know, we have a strong church community, and they'll come in and help.
We've been very fortunate here. I think the whole area, I don't think there's been any deaths, maybe some injuries, but we've been very blessed.
And residents are keeping that positive momentum going by planning several barbecues and get-togethers throughout the next week. Reporting in Ridgecrest, I'm Vanessa Dillon, 17 News.
They responded when the earth stopped shaking.
Up next, we hear from the first responders on scene when both quakes hit.
Hey, SoCal, I'm back. This is my favorite time of year. Toyota's Red, White, and You sales event is going on now. I can spot these deals from a mile away.
Right now, get a tough new Tacoma for just $259 a month, or choose 0 APR or $3,000 cash back on a new Tundra.
Better hurry. Toyota's Red, White, and You sales event ends July 8th.
We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Instead of going to school every morning, what if school could come to you? Because learning happens anywhere and everywhere. K-12 powered schools provide a tuition-free, full-time, online public school education taught by state-credentialed teachers.
It's public school at home.
K-12's curriculum is designed to engage students, to challenge them. So visit K12.com today. Tuition-free in California.
Recently, a friend asked me if I still enjoyed being intimate. And the truth was, I didn't. I was so unhappy. So, I looked into it and found a solution that changed my life. Mona Lisa Touch is a safe, clinically proven therapy that addresses the painful symptoms of menopause. Because I deserve to feel like myself again. So do you.
It's okay to talk about it. Sing Family Medical Clinic, 661-365-0022.
Important conversation, open discussion about difficult topics. Kern County in Depth with Jim Scott, Saturdays at 6. 17 News.
Sometimes the most powerful medicine in the world is the simple comfort of home. At Interim Healthcare, we understand that. And for more than 4 decades, we've been helping families and their loved ones find their way home. To a sun-filled room, a caring touch, or a smile from someone who means the world. Interim Healthcare. When it matters most, count on us.
Call Interim Healthcare today.
First responders in Ridgecrest were likely already on high alert for the 4th of July last Thursday. Well, that ramped up quickly when the magnitude 6.4 foreshock hit. Then again Friday evening when the big one came.
17's Tabitha Mills joins us with how those first responders immediately shifted into the highest gear.
They say it's their job to protect and serve. But for the first responders who answered the call in Ridgecrest, they went above the call of duty. And for that, we say thank you.
I'm gonna add this and down in. You want that?
Yeah, we just had a pretty deep aftershock in Station 76 area. But we are en route.
All's quick.
901.
All's quick. Get down, Wayne. Get down. Get down. I'm down here right now.
The building started to shake, and I saw the engine start shaking, really rocking back and forth.
Affirmative. We have multiple calls.
Immediately, the phone started ringing. Call after call after call.
We do have smoke showing to the north of town.
It was chaotic.
We were pretty much shaking during every call that came in.
UCC to all units and stations, pull your apparatus out of bay.
We went right to work and responded.
All for structure fires, as well as several outside fires and hazardous conditions.
We just had to tell them, we can't get there right now. We'll get there as soon as we can.
All's quick. Get down, Wayne. Get down.
Just like 8-year-old Lily Knight, they knew what to do.
I could hear the caller when the earthquake hit and just saying, oh my God, you know, and knowing I have to get my people out there, my officers, and make sure everybody's okay.
As the ground rumbled beneath their feet, first responders in Ridgecrest jumped into action. Reinforcements rushed in from Bakersfield, but crews were 110 miles or more away.
An entire city relied on a brave few.
Trying to divide and conquer with the 9 of us initially in the Ridgecrest area was actually pretty difficult, but we made it happen.
A 6.44 shock followed by a 7.1 earthquake. There were no fatalities, no major injuries, and relatively little damage, thanks in part to these men and women.
They were here to protect each and every one of you.
I just want to thank all first responders for stepping up in this. I know this was a big event, but I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud for the work we did.
It is a good feeling knowing that our job is to solve problems for those who need help when they dial 911.
As the aftershocks continue, so do they.
I took a call this morning, or last night, a woman just crying because she was so scared to go to sleep.
Their focus now to help in a different way.
PTSD is a real thing.
The defenders of their community, showing the nation how to be Ridgecrest strong.
So now it's our job to not only protect you, but now try to help you to get back to some normal way of life.
To all of the first responders who answered the call in Ridgecrest, thank you. Reporting in Ridgecrest, Tabitha Mills, 17 News.
These were 2 of the strongest earthquakes recorded in our state's history, and seismologists say we could see stronger ones.
So the time to prepare is now. We're back with how you can get your family ready.
A firefighter for 25 years. When my knees wore out, my livelihood was at stake. Thankfully, Nano-Knee saved the day and my pain is gone.
Nano-Knee is a groundbreaking new minimally invasive knee replacement. Now patients can walk just 30 minutes after their procedure.
I was back on my feet immediately and able to return to full duty.
Nano-Knee works with most PPO insurance to cover costs and get you moving again.
Now I'm living pain-free, thanks to Nano-Knee.
Call now for a private consultation.
Hi, everybody. Did you know our own Crystal Palace has been named America's top nightclub 3 different times, and it's been nominated for that award 13 times. The Palace is the entertainment legacy of our own Buck Owens for our city, our nation, and the world, and it's going on as strong as ever. Bakersfield, it's a place to be proud of. And this point of civic pride brought to you by the best in local solar, StockdaleSolar.com.
Weatherby's is celebrating our 98th anniversary with up to 40% off store-wide, plus free delivery. Since 1921, we've been serving our customers with quality, service, selection, and value. We carry a great selection of top-name furniture like Michael Nicholas, Lane, Pulaski, Serta, Simmons, Ashley, and more. We're celebrating our 98th anniversary with up to 40% off store-wide. Join our celebration with savings store-wide plus free local delivery. Weatherby's Furniture since 1921.
You're a person, not a credit score, but sometimes your score gets in the way of the things you want to do. That's why personal consumer loans through NetCredit are designed to fit real people. Borrow the amount you need, up to $10,000, and choose the repayment terms that work for you. With NetCredit, you may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan. Visit netcredit.com today.
These 2 earthquakes caused panic and fear for millions.
And while it's been a week since they hit, first responders continue to hammer home the most important message of being prepared. We have a list of things that you should do to get ready for the next earthquake or other disasters. Visit our website, kget.com, to print the checklist.
You'll also find information on how to sign up for Ready-Kern, a countywide alert system that sends emergency notifications straight to your phone. You can also learn how to sign up for Smart 911, a database first responders can use to access information to better help you during an emergency. We also want to remind you we have more content on our website and social media pages, and a special section on our website for the Ridgecrest earthquakes, which includes several ways you can help the victims, extended interviews, and other content you can see only at kgt.com and our Facebook and Twitter pages. And we remind you to download our KGT mobile app to get breaking news sent directly to your phone.
For all of us at 17 News, thank you for watching and good night.
NBC Nightly News is up next. We'll see you back here at 11.